Let's have a quick look at 4% and dollar breakout setups at the end of the day. Now I've shown you how to do this. Based on that, I have shortlisted some of the candidates. As you can see today, more stocks were down than more stocks were up. So you're getting more short candidate than long candidate. So let's start by looking at the long candidate DCIX, which I talked about uh, at around this price 770 or something. Since then it has gone up a lot, 32%, 62. So obviously it's one of those very low float stock. The float is below 1 million, so it's like basically uh, tends to move big. So that's the OPSC, another one which is a very low float stock, which is like slightly choppy action, but sometimes these kind of things can work. Like if you see here, it's up 32%, 59. So which is a IPO, recent IPO. This was a very orderly kind of a setup from which it had a breakout. Then glycomimetics, which is a biotechnology play. Couple of times it had these breakouts, hasn't had really follow through. So uh, I don't know whether it will have a follow through, but that's one possibility. Would see, which was a recent earnings breakout. See here, the earnings was 275% EPS growth, 59 sales growth. This is a Hong Kong, China based kind of a stock. Did make a big move, 29%. Some of these kind of stocks, unless you found them early in the day, uh, buying now might be too late. Skechers, this already have a position in options term, but this is a nice breakout. After the earnings, this is the earnings, had an orderly pullback and now breaking out to that particular high. Zinhua Real Estate, again a Chinese company. These are all like swing trading kind of thing. These are not long term kind of hold. Again, like if you're running the 4% scan during the day, you'll find many of these stocks even before when they show up early. Like this stock is up 13%, so obviously it shows up early in the morning. But this is a nice breakout. Sorel, which is another uh, auto parts, like see here, like an orderly pullback after I think earnings, and then the float is also low, 7.9 million. That's very nice move basically. Again, if you run the scans, you should find these stocks on your own. I had this stock highlighted very early, and after that it went up. Then you have KL, Kirkland Lake Gold, and then CFI, which is technically a second day of breakout, but looks like a nice breakout. So that might have some follow through, especially if you're looking for a lower price kind of stock. So those are some of the longer side ideas. On the short side, you'll find that lot many stocks were down. And let's start by looking at some big drops. Square, which had gone up a lot when it made this big move in a week or 2 weeks. That's kind of a move tends to, after a long move, stock has been going up for quite some time. Um, that's a big reversal. We'll see if there is a follow through on this one. Uh, then Riot, again, like same kind of a thing. Stock doubled or tripled, and almost doubled or 200%. That's almost like it went up 300%. So that is the kind of, that's the way some of the speculative plays end most of the time. Then you have Intercept, which is like down a lot, and now continuation move. Auto Home, most of the Chinese stocks which are going up for quite some time, they are now in at least in a pullback mode. So that's one. MTN, Well Resort, and your XCC, oil and gas, EP. A lot of stocks in oil and gas sector were down. Ligand, this is like basically having a follow through after this big breakdown. Play, restaurant stocks are also down. A lot of them. Ionis, a lot of biotechnology stocks are pulling back hard. Then like another Chinese play which had a big drop, one of the highest volume here, so maybe follow through move. Voyager, which is another biotechnology stock, which is down. Gasol, which is a triple X gas ETF. MDSO, ConocoPhillips, as I said, oil and gas E&P stocks, a lot of them were down. Then PRTK, which is another biotechnology. Then MSG, and continuation moves like big brow drop, there's a little bit counter trend move on a lower volume, and then now continuation. Brooks Automation, similar kind of a thing, big drop, small counter trend move breaking down. Oasis Petroleum, oil and gas EP, ENDP, Weatherford, and you have a lot of these kind of moves today happening. But like the big breakdowns, Square, Riot, keep an eye on Riot. Like, was difficult to get shares to short. I tried in the morning, it was very difficult to get shares. By the time the message came in, shares are available, the stock was already down a lot. So but like this kind of reversals, if they spread to other stocks which are leading, then keep an eye on that. That might be a sign for being slightly cautious on the market. So that's as far as the breakouts are concerned. There was a question which was asked, like a lot of people have their stocks which chart which looks like this, or their charts which look like this. Okay, now in order to make that, like, see, there is a small triangle here. If you pull it down, then you can get chart like this. Similarly, like, and if your chart is showing like this, then you just have to find this triangle and pull it to this, and then it will show similar to the chart which I show basically. So this was a question which was asked on the last video or last couple of videos, so I just wanted to clarify that.